Hey guys, so I have been kind of slow when it comes to actually keeping up on politics. Now, I do know that, like, Nick Shirley, for example, went over to California to expose, like, more fraud. Now, Nick Shirley is not the best public speaker. He's still young. He's like 23. He's not really in the politics like that. He's just like a dude who used to make like a bunch of like silly content on his channel, and then he like started like kind of being like an independent journalist. Now, there are a lot of people out there that are completely and utterly butthurt about him. Like, he went to California and he started looking into, like, he talked to people, try to figure out, like, hey, we are spending a lot of tax money on this area or that area. We just want to figure out where it is, what it's going to. Talk to people who work in the businesses. Just find random people on the street, talk to them. Find somebody who's been, like, researching this for a while, got, like, all the government records, like, all gathered up in one place, and just kind of figure out where it's all going. And there's no real political point to it besides it's like, hey, I just want to see if there's any fraud going on here and try to save the taxpayers some money by exposing this. And, like, I made a comment on it, and it's just, I called him a journalist on Twitter. And then I just had like 40 people comment on there. Only like 16 likes. And it's just like people being really butthurt. It's like, he's not a journalist, and like laughing and like. The point I said was, like, Governor Newsom came out with a post, and he's likely running for president, and he's like one of the worst governors in the country. Like, his state has actively become worse, poorer, more dangerous, more dirty. There's a lot of fraud, taxes have gone up, people have moved out in droves. They've lost like 2 electoral votes despite the fact that the entire state is full of like sanctuary cities that don't report illegal immigrants to like the federal government. Like, they try to bring in as many illegals as possible to boost up their population so that they can get more electoral votes. And they still ended up losing 2 electoral votes. And if they do another census, which heavily overestimated how many people are actually in California, and they account for how many people have been deported, which California does deport some people. Like, I think, what was it? It was in 2019. I made a point to like a liberal friend of mine. I'm like, did you hear how many people have been like deported by like Texas? And he's like, yeah, and he's like said something like sly, like, yeah, Texas is really showing its ass right now. And then I was like, dude, California alone deported more people than the entire country did the year before. Like, Texas is not unique. They just focused more on it. And he like got super offended by that. And I was just like, but it's true though. I looked at the numbers. Like, more people were deported from California than the entire country deported the year before. I just thought that it was just so ridiculous. Anyways, Governor Newsom came out and he's trying to run for president, obviously. And he did like an AI picture of Nick Shirley covered in cameras. And like, he's drooling at the mouth, like, maybe not literally, but saying like, where are the kids? Trying to find the kids. Because like, the leftist meme is saying that because he's trying to make sure that there's actually kids at these government funded like child cares, that he's actually like a PDF file and he's just like creeping on kids. And it's like, no, he went to a place that says that they have 100 children throughout the week that they babysit, and there's not a single child there, and we gave them like $5 million the year before, and they're literally not doing what we're paying them to do. So I'm like, Nick Shirley can literally sue for that, right? Like, it's not a good idea to go after one of the biggest current, I'm not going to say a cultural icon. That's what I was going to go with, but not a cultural icon, but one of the guys that the right really started to pay attention to, because he showed all these daycares that aren't watching any kids, and we're paying them millions upon millions upon millions of dollars. We have no idea what's going on with these places. And then they'll show a picture of 2 kids going into a place that gets shut down a week later. That actually happened, by the way. The one place, the Learning Center, where they forgot to put the N in learning. Some random dude came out, said that he owned the place, and oh yeah, we're open. We're daycare. We actually watch kids, and they show during the video where he's talking 2 kids going to the building. But then, a member of the Minnesota government said, oh no, that place closed down a month ago. It's then the guy comes out and says, no, we're still open. And then the entire place closed down a week later. After that video with the dude. It's just what the hell is going on? Is this actually a daycare or not? Because we were told it was shut down, then a guy came out and said it wasn't shut down, and then they showed 2 kids out of the 100 they're supposed to have go in, and then it did shut down. What's going on? Anyways, by Governor Newsom suggesting that Nick Shirley is just a PDF file trying to find other people's children, that's actual slander. You can get sued for that, for millions of dollars. And people all over the internet are now spreading lies about him. And the dude's only 23. If he ever wants to get a real job in journalism or do anything, go back to college, no college is going to accept him. No business is going to hire him, because all this shit that's going on. And it's yeah, you're actually hurting his reputation, because he is trying to find fraud. You can say that the guy is unintelligent. You can say that the guy doesn't know what he's talking about. You can say he doesn't know what he's doing. He's just going to places and asking people questions, and that he doesn't understand the information, or he's not a good public speaker, or whatever. And some of that might actually be true, but the thing is you can't go around saying that he's a child predator. That's the same thing they were doing with Trump. We joke around about it with Bill Clinton or something, but my personal opinion was we'll go where the evidence lies. If Bill Clinton's on the list, if there's Jeffrey Epstein had a painting of Bill Clinton wearing Monica Lewinsky's dress, and you could say, okay, that was just a joke. He's just a weird dude, and that Bill Clinton didn't sign off on that. He probably thought it was weird too, despite the fact that they hung out a few occasions. But my point is well, yeah, Trump was hanging out with him a little bit too. Now, he banned him from all his properties long before he had ever been convicted of anything. He had kicked him out, banned him from all properties, didn't allow him to show up in any of his locations, called the police against him, tried to testify as best of his ability, saying that, yeah, everyone thinks that this guy is doing something weird. That comes off better on Trump than it did with a lot of other people who were hanging out with him long after the guy had been convicted. They were trying to gain influence from this guy, use his contacts to get in contact with foreign governments or huge businessmen around the world. After he had been convicted of child trafficking. we can joke like a little bit about Bill Clinton, but I was like, yeah, you know, Bill Clinton is a pervert. Like, he did like cheat on his wife and what have you, but I'm not sure if he's like actually like a PDF file. Like, if he's done anything illegal, I want to hear about it. I want him to be questioned about it because he was a good like associate of Epstein, but I'm not going to claim anything. I just want to see, I want people to look into it. Like, I'm not going to, if you claim that like Bill Clinton is a PDF file, you're not going to hurt like him financially. Like, no one's going to like he's never going to get hired for any job ever. He's set for life. He can write a book and sell like 1 billion copies. Not literally, but like he could make like $1 billion or millions and millions of dollars just writing like a little nonsense. I have like someone ghostwrite for him. Like, oh yeah, I did this, this, and this in government, and can you make it sound like more dramatic? And it'll sell like 1 million copies. Like, he's never gonna have to get hired. He's never gonna go back to school. He's never going to like. His reputation is not gonna get like that much hurt. Like, it's probably never gonna go in the textbooks that he was like an associate. Like, the Monica Lewinsky stuff might go in there, but it might be like a little footnote about how it was like congressional overreach to try to impeach someone over like a personal, like private affair that he lied about. Like, people will cover it for their own, and this is like a president of the United States. A lot of people are not going to like, oh, maybe my president, you know, abused children. I mean, do you think it's going to go into the history books that Obama killed a 15-year-old American citizen without a warrant, without congressional approval? Probably not, honestly, which is kind of sad, but like, it's just the way things work. But like, for an average day citizen who's just going out and making YouTube videos and interviewing people on the street, which is not that uncommon, honestly. There are people all over the world who like, they base their entire channels on just going around and asking random people on the street questions and just seeing like what the mood of a place is. Like, there are people who go out there and be like, oh, I'm going to talk to Trump supporters to prove that they're racist, and then they'll heavily edit down like the video, and then they claim like Nick Shirley's doing something similar. But they're like, the 40 comments that I got on that one comment was saying like, yeah, like Nick can absolutely sue for this if he wanted to. Like, they gotta like he should be careful on like what he says about just some random dude on the internet. Like, assuming like this is not a meme coming from a presidential candidate. Like, you are going to have like $1 billion sent to you, and you can get sued for like tens of millions, and that $1 billion didn't help you in the last election. So doing as much like damage to yourself as possible by taking off like Nick Shirley fans, or like, if you went out and you're like, maybe this Nick Shirley guy has actually got a point, maybe there is some fraud going on here, maybe I should look into it and save like $100 million of like California taxpayer money. Like, a lot of people would be like, oh, thank you. Hey, my taxes went down this year. Yeah, that's nice. Like, even Democrats would be happy about that. Like, this is, again, one of those like 2080 like policies. Like, 80% of people don't want fraud in the country, and you can try to convince them as much as possible that there's no fraud. But if you went out and you found that, yeah, some of the stuff Nick Shirley found is actually fraud, and then you save like the taxpayers like $10 million, like, Democrats in California would be like, oh, okay, fine, maybe he had some point. Maybe, like, he said, like my governor actually went out and actually did something about the fraud. Like, he saved us $10 million in fraud money. Nick Shirley didn't do anything. They were already tracking this. Like, they already knew what was going on. Like, They were already working on it, and it's just a coincidence that we fixed this problem after Nick Shirley showed up. Like, he's trying to take credit for something that a real man did. Like, even if they did that, like, it'd be like one of those things where, like, Governor Newsom could, like, just take it as a win, that they, like, stopped any fraud whatsoever, and then they could say that Nick Shirley had nothing to do with it. Like, it's just a win-win situation for them. But they don't want to do that. They don't want, like, anyone looking into it. And it's just like all those comments, dude. Again, wasn't that annoyed by it, but it's like, okay, dude insulted me, block him, block that guy, called me an idiot, whatever, called me the R word, which is funny. Apparently, retard was banned by both the left and the right, but the right, like the left, really loves to use it when they're like talking smack against the right, which is kind of funny, honestly. It's actually kind of humorous. But when someone comes in and they're like, their first and only comment is just insult, ad hominem, I was like, yeah, no, this guy is not somebody that is going to argue in good faith. He is not here to, like, have a conversation. He's not here to talk or understand. Like, there's no reason for me to have to, like, put up with some dude who doesn't have a point to make besides just, like, be a weirdo on the internet trying to cause, like, internet drama. It's something just absolutely stupid. And, like, they just, like, flooded into this comment section. I have to wonder, like, how many people are these bots? Like, how many of these are just, like, automated systems from other countries? Actually, I should have actually looked into that. I should, like, every time there's a comment like that, I should actually check and see what country the account is based in and, like, keep track of it. Because I get, like, a lot of that stuff. It's kind of humorous, honestly. But anyways, that's not something I have to put up with. And again, like, far be it from me to give Democrats advice on, like, how they shouldn't be, like, slandering, like, small-time, I mean, Nick Shirley's not small-time, but slandering YouTubers and, like, making them liable to get, like, sued. Okay, if you want to get sued for $10 million, like, good luck, I suppose. I'm giving you like actual advice here. It's like, hey, you know, you probably shouldn't encourage, like, this behavior from your presidential candidates. Like, I know Trump also makes fun of, like, journalists, but, like, those are journalists, like, actual journalists working for, like, multi-billion dollar companies. Like, those are, like, full-grown adults with jobs and degrees and, like, accolades and a whole bunch of other stuff. And, like, they kept posting that one debunked picture of, like, Trump making fun of, like, a journalist who turned out to be handicapped, and, like, Trump used that exact same insult for a lot of people, like, a lot of people, and he stopped doing it eventually, but because this one journalist turned out to be handicapped, people took offense to it. Like, he used that on, like, a dozen people, and it just turns out that one of the people he did it actually had a handicap. And I really don't care if Trump is rude. I don't care if Trump, like, treats somebody not nicely. But, like, when you go out and outright imply that someone, like, is a child predator, that's different. Like, that is just outright different. And I guess it is different with a D for Democrat. Like, there's making fun of a journalist, and then there's implying that a journalist committed, like, an actual crime against children. Trump saying that journalists lie is not the same thing as Gavin Newsom suggesting that a journalist, independent journalist, is, like, abusing children. Ah, Jesus. I can't believe I had to explain this, but I had to. Anyways, that's it for now before I talk in circles. Bye, guys.